Hey everybody, we're back. Jane and Jane. I'm going to do another painting today, and I'm going to pick maybe a little bit of a northern scene. Hope everybody's doing good. Get a lot of questions about my paint and about my brushes. I use Liquitex, but you can use any brand you want. I use heavy body because it's nice and thick. It covers well. The better paint you buy, the better coverage you're going to get, the better results you're going to get with your painting. I know sometimes you want to start off and not spend a lot, and so you buy a student grade paint or whatever. It's just not going to cover as well. So you're going to find out that you're frustrated in the end. So even if you want to buy a few tubes of good paint, you'll realize the difference, and you can add to your collection as it goes on. I use those Princeton brushes that are angled. I just did an art show, and everybody asked me if I use a palette knife. I said, no, I use an angle brush, a flat angle brush, and that kind of works as a palette knife in a way. And I use Princeton 6300 series, Dakota series brights, and you can angled, yes. My local art store sells them, and that's where I get mine. So. Okay, and I keep my paint nice and wet in my Masterson. Jane, do you want to go down and show them?
I will.
I painted yesterday, so this is white paint that's left. I just opened up the top, and you can see it's still wet. It's got a wet sponge underneath. You can see that. Wet sponge underneath, and I put the paper on top, and I add my paint, and I always keep my paint sprayed, and just keep it nice and wet. It's not going to last forever, and then after about a week of me using this, I'll just discard this paper, put a fresh paper down, maybe a fresh sponge because it gets a little funky. Somebody mentioned that you can put pennies underneath, and I knew that, but you can put pennies underneath your sponge, and that really helps with the mold. It has some reaction, it really helps with that. Okay, so we're going to get started. I paint my canvases red first, always. It looks pink, I know, but it's just, I use a sponge brush. I use a student grade paint for the underneath part because it's going to be underneath.
And you're not worried about getting perfectly covered.
That's right. It's got all kinds of flaws on there. So you can see my scene. It's can you see that, Jane?
Yeah.
It's a little just a little, it's a northern beach scene with some pine trees. Okay, let's just do this. Let's just see what happens. Now, when you do a landscape, you want to put the horizon line, here we go, Jane, horizon line either above the middle or below the middle. And it's more atmospheric if you drop your horizon line, and if the horizon line is higher, it puts the viewer more into the scene. I think I'm going to lower it for this one. It could go either way. And I'm going to start off, of course, with Hooker's Green. Lots of questions about that. I buy the Liquitex Hooker's Green number 225. It has numbers on it. There's also a 224, which is lighter and not as dark.
And it's Hooker Green dark.
Yeah,
Hooker's
dark
Green.
hue. Yeah, so it's hard to tell because I have to paint this from the side. I think. You know what, Jane? I might have to move this table.
Okay.
Hang on. Because I can't get close enough to my canvas. I don't remember how we did it before.
It was off to the side.
Was it?
Yes.
It's been a while. We've been busy doing different things. We can't get to these videos as often. So there's my horizon line. A little bit lower. It's getting pretty close. I'm going to drop it a little bit more. And then I'm going to break my landscape into shapes. And on this side, now I'm going to start this whole painting with this Hooker's Green. If I want it to get a little darker, I can dip into a tiny bit of alizarin crimson. But this is a mass of trees over here. I see I picked up a little yellow. That's because I'm a sloppy painter. This is actually a mass of trees, but I'm breaking it down into a shape first because your painting has to be all cohesive and all the shapes have to work together, whether it's an abstract or the most detailed painting, realistic painting. This is a tree, a pine tree, not a palm tree this time, and the branches go off to the side and they can even bend up a little bit to the light. A lot of my students want to put it's just a thing we have in our head that the branches all hang down, and they really don't. And trees that are by a body of water are usually pretty scrappy looking because they have to deal with a lot of weather and wind. They're not perfectly coiffed like a tree in somebody's fancy yard. These are wild. So can you see how they're my branches are kind of going up? It's a scrappy guy. And then balance it out. These are trees over here too. Here goes one guy, another guy here. I hope you all can hear me okay. We had our little, we bought these new mics and they were working a little while ago and now they're not. And we're not that technical to figure out, we're trying to, but what happened. So please bear with us with sound, we're working on it. This could almost be a Christmas card.
Are you going to put snow on it?
Jane wants me to paint snow and I'm just not ready. Not unless I get up there during the winter and take my own pictures and see something that speaks to me. And I'm sure I would. One of these days, if I find the right image, I'll do it. I did it a lot when I lived in Ohio. So do you see how I've worked in my whole scene with the Hooker's Green? I see a problem already that these are like boom, 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 all evenly spaced. And that rhythm is not that good. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit so I can see this guy. Put a tree in between. You've got to watch, it just becomes instinctual after a while, but you've got to watch your design. You don't want anything totally evenly, like a fence post or trees or poles, evenly spaced, and it's boring. Just like music is, it can be like this, which is okay, but if it's like this, it's a lot more interesting. And that's my talk on how painting relates to music. Or let's say the visual arts has its own rhythms. Okay.